The fire in Albuquerque. On the 17th of March, 2000, lightning struck a power line outside Albuquerque, New Mexico. Inside a semiconductor plant nearby, the surge caused a fire. It lasted about 10 minutes. The plant's own sprinklers put it out. Nobody died. Nobody was hurt. On paper, it was nothing. A footnote. A 10-minute fire in a building most people listening to this have never heard of. In a city most of us couldn't find on a map without help. And it ended one company's phone business and built another's. That plant supplied a critical chip to two of the biggest phone makers on Earth. Both companies got the same phone call. Both were told the same thing. A minor issue, a week's delay, nothing to escalate. One of them believed it. One of them didn't. I've thought about this story a lot over 28 years because it's not really a story about semiconductors. It's a story about the phone call you make after the first phone call. The one most of us, if we're honest, have skipped at least once because we were tired, or busy, or just wanted to believe the easy answer. Today I want to tell you what happened to both of those companies and why, 26 years later, the hardest part of that story still can't be automated, no matter how good the tools get. This is The Smarter Supply Chain, Episode 5. Quick recap for anyone joining here. Episode 1 gave you the distinction, work that needs your time and work that needs your judgment. Episode 2 was red. Quote, normalization, done in 20 minutes instead of 2 hours. Episode 3 was amber. Supplier intelligence. AI gathers the signal. You decide what it means. Episode 4 was the honest warning. The month I got 8 hours back and filled every one of them with more email. Today's episode is the one that ties all of that together. Not with the framework, with the story. Here's what actually happened. The plant belonged to Philips, and it made radio frequency chips, small, unglamorous components that go inside a phone where nobody ever looks. Two customers depended on that plant more than any others, Nokia and Ericsson. After the fire, Philips told both companies the same thing. A week of lost production, manageable, nothing to escalate. Nokia's component purchasing team didn't leave it there. One of their own supply chain managers kept pushing, kept asking for more detail, kept phoning back, kept refusing to accept a reassurance that didn't quite sit right. Eventually, Philips admitted the real picture. It wasn't a week, it was months. Millions of chips gone. Nokia moved immediately. They redesigned components to be sourced elsewhere. They leaned on every alternative supplier they had. Senior executives got personally involved with Philips to secure whatever capacity remained. Ericsson, by most accounts, took the first answer at face value. By the time anyone inside Ericsson understood how serious it actually was, the shortage was already cutting into a product line they could not afford to lose. Here are the numbers. Ericsson later estimated the disruption cost its mobile phone division somewhere around $400 million in lost sales. Within 2 years, Ericsson had exited handset manufacturing altogether, folded into a joint venture with Sony. Nokia went on to become the dominant phone maker in the world for most of the following decade. Same fire, same supplier, same first phone call, completely different outcome. The information was identical. The willingness to question it was not. I want to be honest with you about why this story stayed with me, because I've made Ericsson's call more than once. Somewhere in 28 years, there's a supplier update I accepted because it was Friday afternoon. And the easy answer Let me close my laptop. There's a minor issue I didn't push on because pushing meant an uncomfortable phone call and accepting meant I could move on to the next thing on the list. Most of the time, nothing came of it. That's the trap. Most of the time, the easy answer really is fine, right up until the one time it isn't, and you don't find out which time that was until it's too late to matter. I think that's the part of this job nobody warns you about when you start. It's not the spreadsheets. It's not the negotiation tactics. It's the quiet, private discipline of staying suspicious of good news you didn't have to work for. That discipline is exhausting, and it is entirely, permanently yours. Here's why I'm telling you this now, and not back in episode 3. Gathering the signal, that's Amber. In 2000, that meant an analyst, a network of contacts, or a manager persistent enough to keep phoning a supplier back. Today, AI can pull a structured brief on any supplier's financial health, leadership changes, and market position in about 15 minutes. That part is faster than it has ever been in the history of this profession. But deciding that a minor update deserves a second phone call, that's green. No model makes that call for you. It never arrives labeled urgent. It arrives looking exactly like every other routine update you'll get this month. And the only thing that tells you which one matters is the same thing that's always told you. Pattern, memory, and the willingness to be a little paranoid on purpose. I tested this properly before recording this episode, ran a real supplier through the exact pre-meeting intelligence process from the playbook, 15 minutes, and it surfaced things that would have taken me the better part of an hour by hand. Genuinely useful. What it couldn't tell me is which of that supplier's account managers has a habit of underselling bad news. That part only lives in the room. In the history. In the years. Amber, correctly rated. It gets you to the decision faster. It will never make the decision for you. Back in episode 4, I warned you about the treadmill trap. Filling reclaimed time with more of the same instead of the work that actually matters. Here's the version of that trap that's specific to today's story. You get 15 minutes back from a faster intelligence brief, and you spend it processing one more quote, answering one more email, or you spend it making the second phone call, asking the follow-up question you'd normally have skipped because you didn't have the time. Same 15 minutes. Completely different profession being practiced. So here's what I'd ask you to sit with this week. Somewhere in your supplier base right now, there's an update you accepted a little too easily. Not because you're careless, because you're busy, and the easy answer let you move on. I'm not asking you to distrust everyone. I'm asking you to make one more phone call this week that you'd normally skip. If you want the actual process behind today's episode, the 15-minute pre-meeting intelligence framework with the prompts I used, it's Chapter 7 of the free playbook. The Procurement Professionals AI Playbook. Links in the show notes. No email list tricks, just the book. I'm Carlo. This is the Smarter Supply Chain. Make the second phone call. I'll talk to you next week.